comes to teams, one of the things that we keep hearing about the most is this notion of diversity and why that's important. As you can imagine, if you have everybody on a team who looks the same, who believes the same things, who comes from the same background, same culture, you're going to get the same types of responses, the same types of ideas. You're going to get a bunch of people who just agree with each other and say, yeah, great idea, we agree with you. And that's not really what you want for an effective team. But diversity doesn't just mean how somebody looks. It also means diversity of thought, cognitive diversity, different backgrounds, different beliefs, different ways of thinking about and seeing the world. All those things are a part of diversity as well. One study that was published on Forbes found that diverse leadership teams have a 19% higher revenue than teams that are not diverse. MIT professor Thomas Malone wrote a book called Superminds. And in it, he had a great quote where he said, "Groups don't always make better decisions than individuals, but they often do when they combine the different perspectives, skills, and knowledge of their members. In our research, we found that groups in which the members were more socially perceptive were more collectively intelligent, presumably because they were able to work together more effectively." Think about that. Diverse teams bring together different types of intelligence. And so if you have a problem that you are trying to solve, a new opportunity that you're trying to unlock, if you're trying to service your customers better, it is more effective to have representation in that room that represents the problem that you're looking to solve. If your customers are all women and you have a bunch of men who are trying to figure out products to create for women, you can see where the misalignment starts to come in. So by having that diversity, that cognitive diversity of different perspectives, values, expectations, ways of thinking about the world, you're able to understand different problems, different scenarios, and you're able to come up with a series of unique ideas instead of just having a bunch of yes men sitting in a room nodding their heads, agreeing with each other. There's no one way to create diverse teams. I think what's more important is for you to just ask yourself if the team you are a part of is diverse. And it's pretty obvious. When you're part of a team, you can just look around and see, does everybody on the team look the same? And then you can start to ask yourself, does everybody on the team believe the same thing? Is everybody coming up with similar ideas all the time? You can start to get a very quick sense of if you're a part of a diverse team or not. EY, the professional services firm with hundreds of thousands of employees around the world, they are huge believers in diversity. And they actually say that only the highest performing teams, which maximize the power of different opinions, perspectives, and cultural references, will succeed in the global marketplace. And so those are the types of teams that they try to create. Those are the types of teams that they try to build. And those are the types of people that they bring in and hire to work at EY. I recently had a conversation with the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer and Chief HR Officer at the Dow Chemical Company. And they have tens of thousands of employees around the world. And they actually make diversity and inclusion a part of their corporate scorecard. It's to the point where managers get rewarded. Part of their bonuses, part of how they're paid is reflected, comes from how good of a job they're doing by focusing on diversity and inclusion efforts. And if managers are not doing a good job focusing on diversity and inclusion, it's reflected in the rewards, in the pay that they receive. So they really make this a core part of how the organization thinks and operates. And we're seeing other organizations do this as well. Facebook and Accenture are two other organizations who are really prioritizing these initiatives and making sure that they have diversity in management, in their executive positions, and on the actual teams that they form and create as well. Another crucial component when it comes to thinking about teams is team size. And I have worked with a lot of organizations where sometimes the size of a team is like 200 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. I mean, at that point, let's be honest, that's not a team, that's a department, that's a division of the company. That's huge. I love the rule that Amazon puts forward, and Jeff Bezos created this rule, and it's basically known as the 2 pizza rule. And at Amazon, they have this policy, this way of thinking about teams where 2 large pizzas should be able to feed any team inside the company. In other words, If you have a team, they get together, you order 2 large pizzas, and it's not enough food, the team is too big. And by focusing on that, they really have this practice in place of making teams nimble and agile, small, able to move quickly, instead of having hundreds of people on a team and, it's like a slow moving machine, and basically you never get anywhere. So think about the size of the team that you're a part of. Would 2 large pizzas be big enough to feed that team? Or are you going to need some kind of catering, renting at a restaurant, hundreds of people coming together? The next component of building a successful team is thinking about the strengths of the people that are a part of the team. In other words, if you have everybody on the team that has the exact same strengths, it's not going to go over very well. Think of it as kind of like assembling a jigsaw puzzle. And every employee who's a part of that team has their own shape, right? Things that they're good at and things that they're not good at. And so you want to have people with a diverse set of skills. So if I'm really good at something, for example, let's say I'm really good at presenting or speaking or coming up with ideas, but I'm really not good at staying organized. I'm really not a good project manager. I'm really not good at delegating and making sure that things keep moving in the right direction. You might want to bring somebody else onto that team who can complement my skill set, somebody who is organized, somebody who can take my ideas and run with them and make sure that they turn into something. But if you just get a bunch of people on the team who are all good at the same stuff, the team is not going to go very far. The last piece for creating effective teams comes down to metrics and measurement. And one of the most common things that we've seen organizations do is something known as OKRs, objectives and key results. Objectives are kind of the big picture thing that you're trying to accomplish, and the key results are the metrics or the milestones that lead you up to that objective. And there are all sorts of tools and technologies now that you can use that make this transparent for you as an employee and for your team, so that other people can see your objectives and key results, you can share them, get feedback on them, etc. But having this kind of a goalpost of knowing where you want to go with your team is also going to be important. Otherwise, you're just kind of like a leaf blowing in the wind. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Check out futureofworkpodcast.com for more content. And do me a favor, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever your preferred channel is. Thank you.